Hey guys, so today we have a super fun tag. I recently saw a couple of my pals here on YouTube, Too Much Tosh and Hope Mess Tom, do this tag, and I thought it was so much fun that I wanted to film my own version. So this is the makeup collection tag. It's a bunch of questions just about being a makeup collector, and I thought that these questions were super insightful. This tag was originally created by Georgia Harris, who I believe is no longer on YouTube, and I think it was going around a few years ago. I don't think I ever did it when it was first going around, but I'm excited to do it today. So if you are also a content creator and you would like to do your version of this tag, then I tag you. And if you're not a creator but you still want to give your answers, then feel free to type out your answers in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Before we get into it, I do want to invite you to check out my Patreon or my channel membership. I post bonus content over there every month. Coming up soon, we're going to have a Cats Pick My Makeup video, and next weekend we're also going to be doing a live stream. So if you're liking my content and you want to support me even more, that's a great way to do so, but feel free to check those out. They'll both be linked below. Let's go ahead and get into the makeup collection tag. So the first question in the tag is, how long have you been collecting makeup? And I'm gonna go with 2014. I think that's probably when I started storing my makeup in a set of drawers, which to me, that's when I would consider it to be more of a collection. Before that time, I would just have all my makeup in like a small makeup bag. Back when makeup was more of just like a utilitarian thing for me and it wasn't so much a hobby. But 2014 was really when I think that's the year that I started my blog, which hasn't existed for many years. But that was how I first dipped my toe into beauty content creation. I had a pretty small collection at that time from like 2014 to 2016. My collection was in like a very small set of like plastic Sterilite drawers. If you watch like some of my really old videos, you will see those drawers. And that little narrow set of plastic drawers is what I used to store my makeup for years. Like, I think it wasn't until maybe 2019 that I graduated out of those drawers into, it was actually like a knockoff set of Alex drawers that I got from Michaels. I think we'll get more into talking about makeup storage in a later question. But yeah, I would say 2014 is really the year that I started viewing my makeup as more of a collection, but I wasn't really, I didn't have a large collection. In most categories, I only had like 2 or 3 things. Question number 2 is, what kind of collection do you have? Minimal, aesthetic, utilitarian, historical, etc. Those are like some examples of types of collections. I don't know if my collection would necessarily fit under one of those descriptions. Like, I'm gonna say I think it depends on the category of makeup, because there are some categories of my collection that are much more utilitarian. Things like mascaras, face powders, setting sprays, kind of more boring categories where I don't really feel the need to have a big variety of choices. Those categories I do like to keep utilitarian, but then there are other categories like eyeshadows, blushes, really all cheek products, lip products, products with color to them. I like to have a variety of those things, and I definitely have way more than I need in those categories, so I would say it's a little bit of everything. You know, in some parts of my collection, I am really good at keeping things minimal, and then in other categories, I don't even care. I'm just like, you know what? I like options, I like having choices, and you know, it doesn't really matter to me that I'm not going to completely pan all of my eyeshadows in this lifetime, because I mean, I've kind of given up on that, and that's okay with me. So yeah, that's what I would say for that one. Question number 3, are you a completionist? I would say no, most of the time. Now, I do have a tendency to become loyal to a certain line of products if I've liked all the previous products in that line, if that makes sense, especially with eyeshadows. Like, I would say the one, I always say this, I feel like I'm always using these as an example, but like the Flower, Desert Lights, and Jungle Lights palettes, there's only 2 palettes in this line right now, and I have both of them, but if Flower came out with more of these palettes, I would be very tempted to complete my collection of these and have all of them, because this is just one of my favorite eyeshadow formulas of all time. In general, I really try not to fall into that trap of wanting to have the complete set of something, even though it's satisfying to have every palette in a series or something. I try not to fall into that, because I want to make sure that all the makeup I buy is something I'm actually gonna really use and enjoy and get to know, and eventually I want to see that I'm, you know, getting dips in the pan or even hitting pan, but I don't want to buy something just to have it complete the collection. I'm sure I would make an exception here and there, though. Question number 4, how do you store and organize your makeup collection? I will link my last makeup collection video down below. I think it was in December of 2022. The storage has stayed pretty much the same. I've switched some things around, but I keep all of my collection stored in a set of Alex drawers that I actually thrifted for $15. One of my proudest thrifting finds. I guess it's a 4-drawer. I mean, it is a 4-drawer. It has 4 drawers. Duh. But it's a little different than the usual Alex drawers that you normally see for makeup collections, because I think most people have the 5-drawer, which is like 3 smaller drawers and then 2 slightly deeper drawers on the bottom. Mine is 3 smaller drawers and then 1 really big deep drawer, which is not what I would have chosen, but for $15 I couldn't pass it up. Like, Alex drawers for 15 bucks, are you kidding me? I used to think, like, why does everybody have to have the same set of drawers to store their makeup? Like, what's so special about the Alex drawers? But now that I have Alex drawers, I kind of get it, I have to say. I used to have, before I had this set of Alex drawers, I actually had like a knockoff set of Alex drawers that came from Michaels, and it was much cheaper, but it also felt much cheaper. Like, the drawers didn't slide in and out as smoothly. And before that, like I said, I had, you know, just like your standard set of like plastic Sterilite drawers, which also worked totally fine. But now that I have the real deal, like the real Alex drawers, I don't see myself going back. I definitely get the hype now. Really what I love so much about them is they fit so much more than you would think they would. The narrow drawers actually have a ton of depth. You can store relatively big compacts on their side like that, and the drawer will still close. So that's why I love it so much, is you can fit a lot more in there than you would think, and you can store a lot of things vertically too, which is nice because then you can see everything you have. So to me, the Alex drawers, I mean, I don't think I would spend full price on a set of Alex drawers. Like, I would recommend trying to get them secondhand if you can, because they do hold up really well over time, and so, you know, there's no reason not to get them used if you can. So my Alex drawers are what store the majority of my makeup, and then I do also have here right in front of me where I'm filming, I have my desk, which I also use as my vanity, and it has 2 small drawers here in the front, and that's where I keep my everyday makeup. So I keep my Project Pan items here, my everyday makeup drawer products, and I also have a drawer here for new products that I'm testing. So that way I'm able to keep all of those things separate and make sure that I'm paying special attention to those. And then I also keep my seasonal palette basket here on top of my vanity, and this I rotate out seasonally. So that's how I store my makeup. I feel like I'm always kind of tweaking it, switching things up to make it even better, but you know, I tend to keep things pretty simple. Question number 5, what is your favorite thing about your collection? I would say my favorite thing about my collection is its versatility. I would say I have a pretty good mix of both drugstore and affordable makeup and high-end makeup. You know, I have some luxury products that I really treasure, but I also have so much fun with my drugstore makeup. And really, I feel like I can be content with my collection right now, because I feel like just about any type of makeup look I could possibly want to do, I could create it with the collection that I have right now. Even if I didn't have the exact color of lipstick that I wanted, I could mix a few colors together. I could even use a blush or an eyeshadow as a lipstick color. So I feel like with what I have right now, I have just about everything I could possibly want, and that feels really good. You know, I feel content, and I feel like I'm in a place where I'm not searching for more things to add to my collection. You know, if my collection stayed exactly as it is for the rest of the year, I think I'd be happy with it. You know, I have so many options, I don't think I would ever get bored. Then the next question to go along with that, what is your least favorite thing or something to improve your collection? I would say my least favorite thing about my collection right now is not just the number of eyeshadow palettes that I have. I just feel like my palette and my eyeshadow category in general is very chaotic, and it's kind of been bothering me for a while now. Like, I don't know if it's just that I have too many palettes. I think that is part of it. I do think I have too many. Just for my own sanity, like, I think I just have more eyeshadow palettes than I can. I don't feel like I really know all of my palettes. I know that sounds dramatic, but like, I want to feel like I have a good understanding of all of my makeup, and in the palette category, I would say I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, even though I did do like a pretty good palette declutter earlier this summer. I'm sorry, I don't know if you can hear that. My neighbors upstairs, they walk so loud. I think the other part of this is also just a storage issue. I feel like I still haven't perfected my palette storage system, and I think that's also part of what's bothering me. I think I might like to get some sort of shelf that I would hang on the wall, like maybe over here. Not that you can see that, but the wall that's next to me, I have kind of a nice blank space there, and I think it would be nice to maybe get a few floating shelves or just one, shelf that you install where I could have all my palettes displayed that way. Because right now I have them just scattered in a few different places, and I don't like that. So, well, I do like having my seasonal palette basket. Like I said, that stays on top of my desk, and I do like that. That I think will stay, but I don't really like having my palettes stored in drawers, and I think that's the problem. The rest of my palettes are stored in 2 different Alex drawers because some of them are too big to fit in the small one. Anyway, I think I might start keeping my eyes out for some sort of shelving unit for my palettes. It doesn't need to be big, because I think I have like maybe 30 palettes or so, 30 something. So it doesn't need to be like a huge bookshelf or anything like that, but I would like to improve my palette storage, and also just maybe I need to declutter a few more palettes. We'll see. Maybe later this year I'll do another declutter. Question number 7, this also goes along with that. What is the biggest category of your collection? I would definitely say eyeshadows. Yes, that is true. So I have 31 eyeshadow palettes, and that is definitely the largest number of products in any one category of my collection right now. And I don't mind having a lot of palettes, but it's when it starts to feel like I have more than I can realistically use, that's when I start to feel a little uneasy. And I would say if I had my choice, my eyeshadow palette collection would be my largest collection, because I love eyeshadow. Like I love it. It's probably my favorite step of my makeup routine. So I like having a larger collection of palettes than, say, other categories of my collection, but I do think right now my palettes are just a little unhinged. And then question number 8, what is the smallest category of your makeup collection? So I looked, and it's actually a 3-way tie between 3 different categories: mascara, powder, and setting spray. In those, I have 3 of each, and that doesn't surprise me at all. Those are usually my smallest categories, and I like just keeping those small, because like I said, I like having a lot of eyeshadows to choose from, but I don't need to have a lot of setting sprays to choose from. I need like 1 long-wearing setting spray, 1 glowy setting spray, maybe like a fixing spray, and I'm good. And with setting powder, really all I need is 2, a pressed powder and a loose powder. That's all I really need at any given time. And then with mascara, really I prefer to have just 1 mascara instead of 3. 3 is actually pushing it in that category. But those are my 3 smallest categories, and I would say those are consistently some of the smallest categories in my collection. Do you have a holy grail in your collection? Absolutely. I would say I have a lot of holy grails. If we're just talking about products that I have actually repurchased, I could do a whole video about makeup that I've used up and then repurchased. One of them I'm wearing right now, the Ilia Skin Tint. This is a holy grail, for sure. Like, it is very hard to get me to spend nearly $50 on a foundation. I mean, I will always wait for a sale, don't get me wrong. I'm not spending full price on this, but I love this foundation so much. I always have a good skin day when I wear this, so that would be a holy grail. Another holy grail absolutely would be the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder. This is also my second one of these. So good. And there are definitely other products that I would consider holy grails, or things that have been favorites for well over a year. Like, if something has stood the test of time for that long and it's still, like, I still haven't found something better, that's when it's a holy grail. Let me know if you would like to see a video on like my true holy grail products that I've like actually used up and repurchased, because it takes a lot for me to repurchase a makeup product. Question number 10, do you ever wish your collection was bigger, smaller, or is it complete? I don't think no. Like I said before, I think I am content with my collection. I'm happy with where it is, and I don't really think there's such a thing as having a complete collection. I don't really think that's a goal for me, because, there are always going to be gaps in my collection. There are always going to be, I'm sure there's always something better I could find that would make my collection even better for me. But I try not to focus on that too much, because I don't like I said, there are always going to be better products out there that I haven't tried, and I don't feel like I need to constantly be searching for the best in every category. Don't get me wrong, I love trying new makeup and I love you know, seeing like what's out there, but I don't really feel like I need to have a complete collection. I don't think I'll ever feel like my collection is complete, but that's okay with me. But as far as the overall size of my collection, I would say I'm pretty happy with it, and these days I try not to fixate too much on how much I have, because that's almost another way of pining for something more or something else than what you already have, and I prefer to just try to be content with what I have, even if it's not perfect, even if it's not complete, even if I'm sure I could have an even better set of base products, and I could probably find another eyeshadow palette that I love. But first and foremost, I just want to focus on enjoying what I have, and I have a lot of great products. Question number 11, how often do you declutter makeup in your collection? I like to do one big full collection declutter once a year. Usually in the spring or like early summer is when I've been doing it over the past couple of years, where I'll do a few different categories. So I'll do one for face products, cheek products, palettes, so on and so forth. And I feel like that's enough. The thing about declutter videos, they are really fun for me to film. I enjoy filming them. I enjoy watching them myself because I feel like it's just a good way to hear a bunch of reviews on a bunch of products all at once. But I never want to be at a place where I feel like I need to be decluttering more than once a year. Like for a big declutter. I'll do a little small declutter here and there, and lately I've started incorporating a little bit of that into my everyday makeup drawer Shop My Stash series. Every time I do one of those videos, I do a recap on the products that were in my drawer for the previous month, and sometimes there will be something that I just realized, you know, I don't know why I'm holding on to this. I don't really feel like this is gonna be a useful addition to my collection, so I'll get rid of it then. And that's a good way to just keep things in check throughout the year. And then sometimes I'll do like a quick, like, just sit down video where I'm showing you a few things that I've decided to declutter, but it's not necessary to go through my whole collection and do like a big proper overhead style declutter video. So yeah, one big declutter once a year, and then maybe some small ones in between. Next question is, do you ever get envious seeing other people's makeup collections? And I would say no, not at all, actually. I enjoy watching makeup collection videos, collection declutter videos, any kind of collection focused video. I want to see it. And I love seeing all the different sizes of collections that people have. But I don't ever feel envious of other people's collections. I can appreciate, maybe I'll get some ideas for things I might want to add to my wish list, but I don't ever feel like if I see somebody with a much bigger collection than me, I don't really feel any sort of way about that. Like, I'm just, it's whatever. I think the reason I don't really get envious of other people's collections is because I am content with my own collection and I know what I want and that's what I have. And, you know, if I see someone with a huge collection, I do enjoy watching big collection videos, but I know that that's not what I want for myself, so I'm not gonna feel envious of that. Who on YouTube has the best makeup collection video? Okay, the one that comes to mind, and this is probably mostly for nostalgia reasons, but Emily Noel, and I don't think she's done a makeup collection video in years, but she is one of those people with a huge collection. I mean, she's been doing YouTube for, like 15 years now or something. I still watch her videos. I still think she's so sweet, but she has a huge collection. I mean, her channel is a lot more review-based than mine, so, you know, she tries a lot and she has for years. And so, you know, she has like almost a library of products, which is not something that I aspire to have, but I'm not gonna lie, it is fun to just see inside of other people's makeup drawers. So every now and then I will go back and watch her last makeup collection video and just kind of enjoy the sights and sounds of makeup. That's really the fun of a makeup collection video, in my opinion. And then the very last question, what's some advice that you'd give to a future makeup collector? Don't feel like you need to have the best product in every category, like that you need to find the best of the best out there, because, I mean, like I was saying before, there is always going to be something better. Like, you know, like I was just saying, I love my Ilia skin tint so much. There may very well be another skin tint out there that I might even like more than this one, but I like this one. This one works great for me. I literally always love the way it looks on my skin. So I could, you know, next time another skin tint launches, I'm not going to get tempted to buy it because I already have one that I love so much. Even though, yeah, that new skin tint, maybe it is amazing. Maybe I would like it just as much as this, if not more. But I think it's important to focus more on what you own already and less on what else is out there. Because once you start thinking about it that way, you start to enjoy what you do have less because you're focusing on, well, what else, what's the next new thing I can bring in? And then there are some phases for me, even as someone who's been collecting makeup for like almost 10 years now, which I can't believe. There have been phases that I've gone through where I haven't really loved any of a certain category that I've had. Like, in fact, just recently, for a while there, I only had one setting powder, the LYS setting powder. And I like that powder. It wasn't my favorite for the under eyes though. Like, I actually don't love that powder on the under eyes, but it was the only powder I had there for a while, and we were in the middle of moving, and finding my next holy grail powder just like wasn't my priority at the time. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna use this one powder, even though it's not my favorite. I can make it work and it'll be fine. Like, I'll live, you know? So it's fine to go through a period of time where you're not super in love with any of the products that you have in a category. Or like, for a while there, you know, I had used up my favorite glowy setting spray, the Makeup Revolution Fix and Glow. I used that one up, and for a while I didn't immediately go and buy a replacement because I was like, well, I don't really need setting spray. It's nice to have, but I can go a few months without a glowy setting spray. I still had like my Urban Decay All-Nighter, but that one I don't really use that much anyway. But I didn't have like a daily go-to setting spray, and I didn't worry about it. I didn't feel like I needed to go find my next favorite setting spray. I just was like, you know, I'll just go a few months without and that'll be fine. So if you're just starting out a makeup collection, or you're really just getting into makeup, don't feel like you have to have a holy grail product in every category all the time, or that you always need to be finding your new favorite, because I mean, that's what YouTubers do, because it's YouTubers' jobs to review makeup. But I mean, I'm a YouTuber, and sometimes I don't even feel like I have a complete collection, or like I don't feel like I have found the best setting spray or whatever. Like but that's okay, because I want to enjoy what I have, and really at the end of the day, what it's all about is just having fun with makeup. And what I love about makeup is sitting down and having that time to myself where I can just be creative and put together a full face of makeup for the day. And if I'm enjoying that process, then that's really what matters to me. So that's my advice, is just to enjoy what you have brought into your collection, even if it may not be the ultimate product in that category. But let yourself enjoy the makeup that you've bought, you know? You've worked hard to be able to buy that makeup, and you should enjoy it. And don't feel like you need to emulate influencers' consumption, because that's when I think it can become a little bit of a slippery slope, and where you can fall into maybe some unhealthy spending patterns. And that concludes the makeup collection tag. This was so much fun, really got me thinking about my collection. If you also are a content creator in any capacity and you would like to do this tag, then I tag you. Please do it. Please tag me if you do, so I can watch your video. But thank you guys so much for hanging out today. I hope you had fun. If you are enjoying my content and you would like to support me even more, feel free to check out my Patreon or my channel membership, where I post bonus content. And next weekend we're gonna have a live stream, so that's gonna be a ton of fun. I would love to have you. Otherwise, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you again very soon in my next video. Bye!